All right. Hey, everybody. Thank you for joining us for our Lunch and Learn today. I can't believe it's been a couple months since we've been doing these. It seems crazy how quickly time is passing, but thank you for showing up and always wanting to learn more. So today we've been going through a couple of the different videos from convention, and there was one of the workshops that really spoke a lot to me. And I know that we're all at different stages maybe of either enjoying Young Living as a lifestyle or potentially sharing it with other people and kind of exploring and seeing what that means and how that can work, just all different levels. Like there's so many levels. There's over 6 million members with Young Living, right? And over 90% of those members are just happy customers, right? They love our products. They are consistently, ordering monthly. They just love their products, right? And then there's a percentage of those that because they love them so much, they end up just naturally sharing that with a friend, a family member, and they're like, hey, you've got to check this out. I tried this, it works so well for me. Our first win was with my daughter's sleep. She was 3 at the time, and it was just night and day with helping to naturally help her come out of these night terrors. And then I started to explore a little bit more. My husband was really enjoying different things for like aches and pains after soccer. I started looking into some things naturally for fertility. And after tens of thousands of dollars and a ton of intervention prior things that I was doing, I started just working on resetting from the inside out, removing a lot of toxins from the home. I started with fragrance and not even really understanding why. It just really, it gave me migraines. So I didn't understand the science behind why my body was rejecting that. But as I started to invest and learn a little bit more, my eyes were open to how much my products were littered with just unnecessary toxic crap. So while we can't avoid everything in life, and we can't, I don't want you to have a spirit of fear and just avoid all the things and be paranoid, there are things that we are the gatekeepers of our home, and we are able to say, nope, I'm not putting my money there. I'm not allowing that into my home. And we get to choose what we allow into our home, right? So we can't always choose what we smell when we step outside of our home. I know that I'm constantly bombarded with my neighbors. I can smell their laundry and their dryer sheets and everything flowing. And I want to like run back in my house when they're doing laundry, because it really, the more I remove fragrance from synthetic fragrance, the more sensitive my body has become to it. So, and it's not just in that, it's just like what we're putting inside of our body, right? Where we're getting our vitamins, our supplements, our shampoo. It's a whole slew of things. So because Young Living has over 800 products, and because they have this seed to seal process that they've vetted everything, that they know 100% how things are going because they've been in charge of those processes, right? And then they have testing, third-party testing, all of these things come together and make it a really easy, convenient one-stop shop to get all of your needs for your family. So whether you have children, pets, you live alone, whatever it is, you are the gatekeeper of your home. And so for me, as a mom, it's made it really easy, especially during this time, to just be able to go online and find everything that I need, right? The majority of it, except for like eggs and toilet paper, what I need there, and have it sent directly to me. And then from there, we usually naturally end up sharing what we love with somebody else, right? If you watch a movie that you like, don't you usually, you're like, oh, this was really good, or vice versa. If you find something that you're like, oh, stay away from that. We're just by nature, we share what we like, what we don't like. If we find a good deal, we love to share it with somebody else. So in the spirit of that, Young Living has created, that's how their system and their model works as far as marketing goes. Every company pays somebody to market for them. And back in the day when this was all starting, Mary Young came to Gary and said, if you have this whole system in place, it's brilliant, it's great, right? And if we just take this product now that we've spent all this time making sure that it's done in an exact way and just stick it on a shelf, then the customer's not going to know how to use it. So what they did is they put it in the hands of the actual people that were using the products and said, now go and tell your friends about this, how to use it, how to enjoy it, all that stuff. So that's where that model comes from. So I know that sometimes, you know, network marketing or multi-level marketing can get a bad rap. Maybe you've had a bad experience in the past or whatever. But I'm here to say, like, not all companies are the same with that. Just like not all oils are made the same, not all MLMs are made the same, and there are some really good ones out there. And you'll find a lot of really wealthy people that have written several books just explaining what a brilliant marketing plan that is, because word of mouth is super important. My parents own a local home inspection company. They don't pay any money for marketing. Everything is all word of mouth. So in the early days, my dad took his time and went around and met with realtors and got his name out there and, you know, spent that time networking, right? Making sure that he made those connections. And here all these years later, that time that he spent doing that is paying off because people still know and remember him, and they know what a good job he's done, right? So over time he's proven himself there. So it's the same thing. And more people are looking for opportunities to supplement income, even if it's just to get your own order paid for, whatever your goal is. If you're wanting to, you know, go and fund trips somewhere, if you want to, you know, pay for adoptions, whatever it is that your goal is, the sky's the limit, right? So I wanted to share this video from convention. So we had a ton of workshops. So we focused a lot on product education and knowledge. And I wanted to share a little bit on the sharing side of things, just to kind of like encourage you guys, open your mind if that's something that you're interested in. Whether you're on Debbie's team or my team, we'd love to talk to you some more and kind of work through that. And just see, you know, where you're at and support you and help you along the way to figure out what that looks like for you in your home. I know that for me in my home, it has been a huge help and a blessing. For me, I wanted to stay home with the kids. It helped me. I always did like odd jobs. It helped replace like 8 different sources of income. Within 8 months, I had like all these little side jobs that I did. And I've always been, you know, more entrepreneurial minded. Like I created businesses and just did things that, you know, with my own skills. And this is not something that I came into it intending to do, like the business side. But it's something that was a total answer to prayer. And it was something that, you know, when my results were speaking for themselves and people were literally coming to me and like, what are you doing different? How do we get that too? So it just becomes very natural, especially when you are intentionally living a lifestyle of preventative health, you know, whatever you want to call it, crunchy granola, like just making conscious choices. That's all you're doing. You don't have to put like a label on it if you don't want to. You can still, you know, like there's people that still do this, and, you know, everybody's on a different point in their journey is my point. You know, it doesn't mean that you know, never eat food coloring again. But if you're somebody who wants to avoid food coloring, like good for you. We try to limit it when we can too. Nobody here is trying to be perfect. We're just trying to make better steps to improve like our overall wellness and health and be conscious of those things. We can't avoid all the things, like I said, but there's a lot of things that we can. And a lot of that just comes with knowing more. So I'm going to share this video. And I found it to be just really enlightening. So I hope you guys enjoy it too. And then we'll come back and we'll chat for a few minutes in a second. So I'm going to share the screen. And hopefully I do this right this time. Oh, just kidding. Can you enable me to share the screen, Deb? Sorry, 1 second. Almost there. Hopefully you guys are doing well today. I can't believe it's already almost the end of July. This year is just flying by. All right, let me try it again. Oh, yep, it works. Okay. All right, so here we go. This is just the income disclosure. If you need like a more detailed thing of that, you can always just go to youngliving.com/IDS for income disclosure if you want to check out more of those. I find that the median versus the lowest, highest, average. Anyway, you can look at the average incomes and kind of see where you're at.
Welcome, friends. I am thrilled that you are tuning into the 2020 International Grand Convention. My name is Kari Friedman, and it is my honor to spend time with you today discussing the Young Living business opportunity and how to launch into your business with success. So, now that you have committed to doing this business, let's dive into how you're going to set yourself up for success in the first 90 days. Did you know that we just launched a new business builder resource called the Rise booklet? You can access this booklet in your virtual office, and it can act as a roadmap for you in the next 90 days. So, first of all, I want you to think about, why do you want to do this? Why do you want to do Young Living as a business? This why is going to be a driving force for you, because you're going to have doubts and there are going to be naysayers, so your conviction must be strong. The Rise booklet starts by asking you about what your inspiration is and what success even looks like to you. Take time to journal in the Rise booklet and maybe even share your responses with your enroller or a close friend who is cheering you on. So there is a saying I want you to remember, and it is this: facts tell, stories sell. You want to use your products and fall in love with them and have your own stories to share with others. We call this being a product of the product. I like to think of myself as a professional recommender. Most of us recommend things daily. We recommend our favorite pair of jeans to people. We'll recommend our favorite Italian restaurant. This business is no different. So you want to experience the products in your starter kit so you have authentic stories to share with your friends and you feel good about making recommendations to your friends. Of course, being on Essential Rewards, our monthly wellness ordering program makes this so easy because we commit to ordering each month. Please note, you do not need to be an expert. In fact, if you think that you need to know every single oil in our product line and how to use each of those oils before you start talking about Young Living, that is the exact opposite of what you want to be doing. In this business, we want duplication. We want people to see what we're doing and say, hey, I could do that too. Being an essential oil encyclopedia is not something that many people can do or even want to do. So craft your story around our oils and our starter kit, maybe a few additional products that are working for you, and run with it. You also want to believe in the value of the product that you are sharing with others. If you believe the product is too expensive, or if you do not believe that people really need this product, you're going to have a very difficult time sharing the value of it. From my experience, the most valuable products in my life are those that have had a profound impact on the quality of my life and my family's life. So if you do not see the value yet, use more products and start taking note of the positive changes that are happening in your life because of Young Living. So during your first month, I want you to tear the Band-Aid off and let people know that they can get these products from you. So first, you're going to make your own enrollment link in the virtual office. Then this can look like you're going to invite some friends over to learn about oils for a mom's night out. Or maybe you're going to post on social media a picture of you and your oils and what they're doing for you and how they're benefiting you, and ask friends if they want to sample some. Maybe this looks like you reaching out to your mom, who is always talking about her daily stressors. Offer if she'd like to borrow your stress away roller. The point of this is to just put it out there that you're using these products, you're seeing positive results, and you're ready to help others learn more about them too. So if we don't let people know that they can get Young Living products from us, they will go and order from someone else who's making it obvious. So now that you've torn, now that you have torn the Band-Aid off, you want to work on crafting your story. The Rise booklet has a step-by-step guide to prepare your story. This story you can share on social media, you can share at events you put on, or even when you are talking to people just about Young Living and why you're so passionate about this company. So something that I hear people say often when they get started in this business is, they don't know enough people to really do this business. And, they have no clue who's going to get started with them. And besides, everyone they already know already uses oils or just doesn't care about wellness. Let me be the first to tell you, friends, that those are some big lies you are telling yourself if you have thought those things. The reality is that we don't need to know thousands of people. We need to know a few people and help those people get started, and then help those people help other people. So during your first month, I challenge you to write a list of names of people you know who would benefit from bringing these products into their life. The Rise booklet has a page dedicated to helping you think about the first 40 people you would like to bring to your team. You will notice that in the activity in the Rise booklet, it really asks you to think about people from all areas of life. It's not asking you to think about the people who you know are going to get a starter kit from you. But think about the people you love, your family, your friends. Think about coworkers, neighbors, people from your church, or people you went to school with. Even as a Crown Diamond, I still add people to my list monthly and check them off when they get started with Young Living.
Texted me back, and
now
he said,
that you have your list, you need to be consistently sharing Young Living. Rise stands for reach out, inspire, suggest products, enroll, and follow up. So let's break this down. Think about where your sphere of influence is going to connect with you. Do you have a close local group of friends? Then putting on a local in-person event is a great place to start for reaching out. If you have a social media following or lots of non-local friends who are following you on Facebook or Instagram or now TikTok, then make sure that you are sharing in those spaces. A good ratio on social media is 1 oily post to 5 non-oily posts. 5 posts that are about you and your life and what you care about outside of Young Living. Many business builders do both. They utilize free marketing avenues online and leverage their in-person local networks. So the key is going to be consistency. Don't get down on yourself if no one likes your first oily post, or if no one came to your neighborhood oils make and take. Trust me, every person who has achieved the rank of executive or higher has been ghosted on social media by a friend or planned an event that no one showed up to. It literally has nothing to do with you. Remove yourself from getting hurt feelings over people not getting started or not showing up to things. Honestly, no just means not right now. Did you get started the first time you saw an oils post or you were invited to an oils event by your enroller? For many of us, the answer is no. We thought about it for weeks or even years before we jumped in. So be consistent with sharing your inspiration about Young Living. Remember this, enrolling someone is a process. It is not a one and done event. When we inspire and suggest products to people and help fill a need, this is when people say yes. If you are not sure what consistency looks like, it looks like doing something every day for your business. In the Rise booklet, there is even a 90-day IPA calendar that you can refer to. IPA stands for income producing activities, the things that we can do daily for our business. All right. So let's say you are not having success with enrolling people, but you're presenting the kit and you're suggesting products and you're explaining to people how to get started. Then you want to make sure that within your first 90 days, you work on some closing skills. See, the majority of us didn't go to school for sales, and now we're finding ourselves needing to learn some sales skills. Let's even talk about the word sales. Does it make you feel icky? Why? One of the most common things I hear from people getting started is, they don't want to sound salesy. So I ask, well, what do you mean? And they say, well, I don't want to be pushy or pressure people. Great. So don't be pushy and don't pressure people. Let them know what is available to them and that you're there to help them get it. Pushy sounds like texting somebody 3 days saying, hey, are you ready to get your oils? Caring about someone and following up with compassion looks like you texting your friend and saying, hey, I know last week you were thinking about getting your oils starter kit. I just wanted to take some time to follow up with you and see if you have any questions about Young Living or the enrolling process that I can help you with. I want you to remember this. Following up is caring for people. You are not being annoying or pushy when you are caring for someone who told you they were interested in getting oils from you. Did you know that 80% of sales comes on the 8th to 12th follow-up? Yep, trust me, it's gonna be painful the 8th time you follow up with someone. But remember, this is part of the process. Enrolling someone is a process and not a one and done event. So let's dive into some closing skills. First, we need to be really good listeners. Helping someone get started is all about them, not about us. We are not going to word vomit all the ways that the oils work for us. We need to listen to their needs and their concerns. We need to be able to show them the value of the kit as it pertains to them. We need to confirm their needs. After they have shared with us about what they are going through, we can repeat that back to them. So what I hear you're saying is, sleep in your house is a really big issue, and the lack of sleep is causing some daily stresses. So based on what you've shared with me, I'd suggest that you grab a premium starter kit. You're gonna have a variety of options so you can create an amazing sleep environment. And I am confident that you are gonna love these oils. How does this sound for you? And if they say, this sounds great, then you're gonna say, are you ready to get started? And you're gonna smile and you're gonna nod your head, even if you are texting somebody or messaging them online. The reality is that most of us are not asking these questions. Are you ready to get started? Are you ready to get your kit today? Are you ready to get these life-changing oils into your life? We're not asking these questions because this is asking for the sale, and that makes us nervous and uncomfortable. What if they say no? What if they ghost me and don't text me back? And all of the feelings of rejection enter. Remember, bringing somebody into Young Living is a process and not a one and done event. The way someone responds to the question, are you ready to get started, is just an indication of where they are in that process. They might still have questions that have not been answered. They might not really understand what they're enrolling into. The most important piece is that you are consistent. Because if you are consistent, when they are ready to get started, they're going to come back to you. Now, the more people you close with and ask for the sale with, the more people you enroll. But this comes with some objections. So during your first 90 days, be ready to handle a few objections because they're gonna come to you. So let's think about some of the most common objections that people have. How about this one? I think the kit is too expensive. This is where we can use this strategy called feel, felt, found. I totally understand how you feel. I felt that way too, but here's what I found. I was desperate for sleep and I had tried so many other things and it didn't work. So I figured this investment was worth it for my overall wellness and my sanity. I'm so glad I invested in these oils because now my bedroom smells like a spa and I look forward to going to sleep. Or, I totally understand how you feel. I felt that way too. And then I found out that I could refer people to Young Living and earn a paycheck. I made it my personal goal during my first month to help enough people get oils to earn back the money that I had invested in my starter kit. How about this objection? I just don't think I'll use all these oils and I get overwhelmed easily. So you can use feel, felt, found here, or you can try this one called That's the Best Part. That's the best part. These oils last forever. As you start using more oils on this journey and you become part of our oils community, you'll learn so many ways to incorporate them into your daily life. You do not have to learn everything all at once. Now, some of you might be thinking, well, Kari, how do I get paid and what are all the ranks? Yes, please go learn about the ranks in the RISE booklet. Learn how to achieve the rank of star, our first rank, senior star, our second rank. These ranks are very doable to achieve in your first 90 days if you hit the ground running. Some of you are even going to hit the rank of executive in these 90 days, but I want to put the emphasis on hitting the ground running. Because if we spend all day learning the comp plan or watching Facebook videos from all kinds of diamonds on how they built their businesses, we are not talking to people and getting in front of them, whether that is in person or virtually with our products, is the way that you move your business to star and senior star and executive. And truly, it is how you continue to grow your business at every rank. You have to talk to people, introduce them to Young Living, enroll them. You walk them into Essential Rewards because Essential Rewards is the bread and butter of our businesses. And we know we have people who are committed to the lifestyle when they enroll into Essential Rewards. So write down your top 5 favorite oils outside the starter kit, your 5 favorite lifestyle products outside the starter kit, your 5 favorite supplements outside the starter kit, and share those. Share these products. And this is how, when you share them consistently, the people that you have helped get oils, they'll be inspired and they'll see how you're really incorporating these products into your everyday life. And then you're going to make sure that every single person knows about the business. Not everyone is going to start a business with you, and that's okay. The numbers show us that really only a few people actually ever build a business with Young Living, but everybody needs to know about the business. If you want business builders, you need to talk about the business, period. So when I enroll someone, I send them an email with information on how they can log back into their account, reorder, adjust their monthly order, and then I always send them their own personal enrollment link. So they know that let me try that again. So when I enroll someone, I always send them an email with information about how they can log back into their account, how they can reorder, how they can adjust their monthly order, and then I always send them their own personal enrollment link. And I let them know when, not if, but when their friends and family want to get oils, they can help them and be compensated. Remember, Young Living is about wellness, purpose, and abundance. The majority of us are very comfortable talking about the wellness and purpose piece. We'll talk about wellness all day and the incredible community that Young Living provides, but we shy away from talking about the abundance piece, the business. We need to talk about this up front. Don't shy away from the abundance piece. Everyone has a right to know the full scope of what Young Living can offer. So if you haven't already, go download the RISE booklet, print it out, and hit the ground running. I hope this presentation today gives you inspiration to rise in your business, move forward in your purpose, and fulfill your dreams. Thank you so much.
Okay, so I don't know, if you want to write in the comments, like first, I was thinking like, what are your 5 things that you thought of when she said like, what are your 5 favorite like products or oils, or it doesn't have to be oils, supplements, things you read, like, I don't know, the deodorant, like whatever your favorite things are, type in the chat what some of those things that came to mind when she said like, what are the 5 things that if somebody were to ask you like, hey, I see those little bottles all over your house, like what are those? what would you even, what's the first one that would come to mind even to say like, well, this is the one that I love for this. I know for us, for our family, Peace and Calming was one of the first ones to make such a huge impact that I couldn't help not share about. And I know that, when she mentioned there too, sometimes when we talk about sales or talk about a business, then it's like, oh, what are you talking about? Like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to share with anybody. I don't want to talk to anybody. Like, I'm too shy. I'm too whatever. So I hope that after hearing that, you either, it sparked maybe some interest or gave you some more confidence in what you're doing, because it doesn't have to be icky or salesy. Like, we're not used car salesmen. We're people who are using something for a benefit in our home. And once we found that benefit, we're sharing it with somebody else who may need that same thing. I don't know about you, but when I go through my social media feed, I'm constantly like, well, especially now, bombarded with like emotional, like fear and just unknown and just like some heavy stuff. And I personally have known 6 different families who have been affected by suicide from everything that's going on and everything being too heavy. So typically when in our world, we're either bombarded with like, I'm so sick, I'm this, I'm that, I'm nervous, I'm scared, I don't know what's going to go on. And guys, we have so many tools at our disposal for emotions and immune and digestion and like literally all the things for moms, for dogs, for workout. So the great thing about Young Living is that we're not targeted and like pigeonholed into just one market, into one group of people. Like there's literally something for everybody out there. Okay, so I've seen Ninja, Thieves, Anything, Hand Soaps, Breathe Again, Deep Relief, Thieves Cleaner, Ninja Red, Mindwise, Aroma Bright Toothpaste, Lavender, Thieves, and Single Blends. Getting my dad and nephew on Ninja and Acetea for their, to help with like diabetes and blood sugar control and all that. So Lavender. So yeah, I mean, all of those things, like even if we just picked one of those things, I mean, for me, more and more, I'm like, if every person on the planet, I feel like would benefit so much if they drank Ninja, any amount every day. Huge change if you look into that. And like she said, no one has to be an expert. You don't even have to do what we're doing. You don't have to host Zoom calls. You just have to be willing to be like, to fill a need. If you hear your sister, brother, aunts, friends, cousins, whatever, say that they have this, and you private message them and be like, hey, I don't know if this is something that you're open to, or if you'd want to try it. I know for our family, this is what we found works. And then if they walk through that door and they're like, yes, give me that, don't say no to them. Like in the beginning, I made the mistake of, I was like, shied away from like, oh, I don't want to seem like this or that, or, like I didn't want them thinking that I was like peddling oils out of, the back seat of my car or something weird like that. But what I found is that when people say to me like, oh my gosh, that's awesome, do you sell that? And I was like, well, no, I don't really sell that. I can help you get it. But all they heard was no. And then they saw Sally over here on Facebook, like, hey, I sell Young Living. And they went and got it from them. And they came back and they're like, Jen, thank you so much for telling me about this. I went and got it from Sally. And I was like, oh, well, that was dumb. Like, because Young Living sent them a thank you check for work that I did. Right? So that follow-up that they're talking about, it's like, it's planting a seed, but then it's checking back in. And if they're saying like, hey, I want this, you're not doing anything weird by helping them get it. You're helping them get it. That's it. They're pulling out their credit card. They're choosing, like, unless you're holding them at gunpoint, that could be a little weird. You're not making them do anything that they don't want to do, right? If they're showing up and saying, hi, I want this, help them get it. So do you want to add anything to that, Deb?
Well, I was going to say, it's true. And even just like the follow-up, I know, like, even if people on my team haven't bought in a while, or people that I haven't spoke to that were considering, and I have, they just, life gets crazy and you lose track and you call them, they are so happy to hear from you or from me. They're like, I'm so glad you called. Where I think a lot of people are apprehensive, thinking like, oh, they're going to think I'm like cold calling them, or I'm just calling them to talk oils or whatever. that they are so happy when I actually pick up the phone call and I reach out to them and talk to them. So that's a really big piece. And then also, I think a big piece that I didn't do when I was first started out was I would tell people about the oils, but I didn't tell them about all the other great stuff we had. And I think that's where I fell short. And now I'm spending more and more time talking about like all the supplements and the Ninja and the toothpaste. And even when I remember when I first started, I was talking to one of the moms that we were sitting at some golf thing or something with the kids. And she asked me about a probiotic. I never even knew what a probiotic was and didn't even know we had them. And it's like, there was an opportunity, I guess, if I would have, researched at that point, that I had to like offer her, well, we have great, probiotics. So it's very interesting that I'm finding more and more, it's more like the lifestyle versus just oils. And people are definitely open to it, and they don't feel like you're selling them when you call them.
Yeah. So many people, especially right now.
Heart place,
Sorry.
It's okay. It's just like if you're calling from your heart, like I'm calling to check in on you. I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm trying to help make your life better.
Right.
People do appreciate that.
Yeah, especially when they're asking for it, guys. When they're asking for it, like even if you don't consider yourself, like you're not running a business yet, maybe you just got your kit, maybe you don't even have your kit yet. Just know that the opportunity is there. Like she said, a lot of times people don't know what they don't know. So I've had members before like have no idea that there's a referral side of things. I've had members, like Debbie said, that had no idea that there was anything outside of oils. They're like, well, I need to stop ordering because I have too many oils. I'm like, well, what about all the 800 other products? Like, what are you doing for your toothpaste and your shampoo, conditioner, and when we order those things, it's not just order to order. One, it's serving a purpose because it's one extra product in your home is toxins that you're removing from your home. Two, you are working on your preventative health. So when you're adding those things into your home, you're saying yes to working on your future self, right? And working on building your immunity, helping your sleep, your emotional state, all these things. And then three, they have an amazing loyalty program that I didn't know about at first. Back in the day, it wasn't like set up the way that it is now. I had no idea that there was a loyalty program. I didn't know that I could get free stuff if I had put more stuff on. I love getting free stuff, so I probably would have done that. But hindsight. So now they made it a lot easier. I feel like over the years, I've been with Young Living now for 6.5 years. I used random brands before that. I wish that somebody would have shared with me sooner. So 9 times out of 10, or I'd even say more than that, there's very rarely a time where you're going to come across somebody that's like, why in the world did you ever share this with me? Most times people, they get their stuff and they're like, I wish I knew about this sooner. That's the majority of the people that I hear. Like, I wish, that's the only regret. I wish I would have known about it sooner. This made my life so much easier. And for me as a mom sitting in the store and people are trying, especially now, trying to get in and out of the store quickly. Imagine being in the store and I used to sit there and look at the labels and compare it to this one and figure out what was best, and spent all this time doing that, and then only to find a brand that you did trust, and then find out later that it was bought out by a bigger company that then snuck crap back in under the term fragrance. So it was very frustrating and very hard because you couldn't just blindly trust one brand. But with Young Living, the reason we can just not blindly, please do your research, please go out and vet this, go to the seedtoseal.com website, look into it, figure out those are the things that make it across the board something that's safe for the whole family. So for me, I did the research, I looked into it. It was something that before, even though I was using essential oils here and there, I was definitely not using them on my daughter, because I wasn't fully sure, in the way that I use them now. I wasn't using them internally. I wasn't even putting them on topically. And even the way I was using them aromatically was very incorrect. Because I was putting them inside a plastic humidifier that was spewing out bits of plastic. So I had no clue. But like she mentioned in there, she touched on the fact that a lot of times people just love the community. That is a huge, huge factor. You guys right here, us coming together, learning together, you don't have to be an expert. So if you're coming into this and you're like, the business, what's the business? Like, what does that even mean? I never even thought of that. So newsflash, Young Living does have an opportunity to get your stuff paid for and to help other people. So we're a community really focused on supporting other people. And I have to just say and throw this out there. Young Living community is amazing in and of itself, but this business has been so much more than just a financial blessing. Like the relationships with the people that are on here that are outside of this, just in the whole like global Young Living team. I have people in Malaysia that I'm friends with, Australia, like China, all over that I've met on different retreats, different farms. Like I met one of our members now at the farm in Ecuador. She just happened to be there the same day, and we met and connected. And so it's really just fun and life-giving. So like she said, you are going to run into people that are like, no, that's crazy, but give them some time, because I bet you, like, just stick with it, keep doing your thing, love what you're doing, love what you're using, throw it out there every once in a while so somebody knows that you're actually doing things a little bit off the beaten path, right? You're not just going to the dollar store and grabbing some oils, you're actually getting something of quality, and you're getting to sleep better, you're feeling better, your stomach's not as upset. Like all these things, let somebody know about that, because maybe, just maybe, they're looking for help too, right? Maybe they are tired of eating food and feeling like crap, and they don't know anything better because they were never taught any better. So when we know better, we can do better. So the only way they're going to know better is if somebody who's already knows a little bit better, not an expert, but is on a journey toward knowing better, shares it with them. So they're going to, if they trust you and it's somebody in your trusted circle, why would you not want to help them? So that's where I kind of came at it. And even though I had my own reservations, like, oh, what are they going to think? Or sometimes the people closest to us are the ones that are a little bit more like it's not you, it's that they're comfortable enough with you to show their skepticism a little bit stronger than maybe they would with a stranger. So don't like take off the offended hat and just try and meet them where they're at and be like, hey, let's take some baby steps. You're having trouble with your stomach, put this on. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I mean, you've put worse in your body and on your body, right? So anyway, that's I'm really excited that you guys joined us today. I wanted to give Laura a shout out because it's her birthday, so happy birthday to you. And if you guys have any questions at all, she mentioned a RISE booklet. I have some of those, so if you're on my team and you want to grab one, there's a link that you can print it out directly from Young Living. And in a few months, they're going to start coming in the premium starter kit boxes to new members, which is fun. You're welcome. But it's just a really easy way to kind of go through and help you discover, like, you're in the driver's seat. No one's going to make you do anything. No one's going to just like no one's going to make you order anything. No one's going to make you share. But if you do end up wanting to share, like somebody came to mind that you're like, yeah, you know what, this person really would benefit from some stress away right now. This person, is constantly saying how like they don't feel good, they're bloated, whatever. Maybe DiGEs would help them, like check it out. So if that has inspired you at all and you want to reach out and chat a little bit more, we're more than happy to help you. But no one's going to like come and bang down your door and make you meet some quota that you don't want to meet. They're not going to make you do something you don't want to do. But I would challenge you too, if you're still at a point where you're not quite confident yet to share yourself, be open enough to refer them to the person that shared with you and say like, hey, I don't know everything here, but my friend Jen or my friend Debbie or my friend Stephanie, whoever, they can help you here, and be a connector in the very least, and say, let's learn together, right? And that can maybe step you into it, because that's still showing that help and that care, and you can learn together, and it takes some of the pressure off, right? So we're all just learning in this together. Some of us have just learned a little bit more and some more of it stuck, but as we're learning, we constantly put little nuggets away and we're like, oh yeah, I remember. So coming to these, we're really excited that you're here, because coming and showing up, each time you show up, it solidifies a little bit more in your head, so that's why sometimes it looks like, well, you're an expert, you know all the things. Like I get that all the time. Like, well, I could never know what you know. Well, why? I mean, I've just been doing it longer than you, right? And I've just been consistently doing the same things over and over. And eventually, like, not rocket science, it's going to stick. You're going to figure out what to do with lavender and frankincense and lemon, even though at first they may look all overwhelming. And then in a few months, you're like, oh, yeah, I know what to do with this. So I'll just encourage you to just start thinking about it, you know, process it, and then check in with somebody and see where you're at and where you want to go with that.
I also want to add, if you haven't gotten the RISE booklet yet, you can find it in your back office under member resources, and it's listed there where you can either print it or even save it like into books on your computer or iPad. There's also an IPA 90-day checklist booklet in there as well, and they're all listed in your back office under member resources. And if you haven't done your link yet and you don't know where that is, that's also in the back office. Once you go to your back office, your main page, you'll see it kind of towards the bottom. It'll just say something about create your own link. And it's right there on the left-hand side. And if you need any help with finding any of that, reach out to myself or Jen or whoever else in your line, and we'll be able to help you out. But
exactly. So yes, if any of those terms were confusing, you just literally, just like you're ordering youngliving.com, on the left-hand side, there's a dashboard with a bunch of things that you may not have ever clicked into, but one of them is member resources, and you can kind of play around in there. There's a ton of just product education. There's, like she said, the RISE and the IPA, if that's what you want to explore a little bit more. There's a lot of tools back there that Young Living provides for free. And then there's a ton of stuff free on Facebook, different communities. One of my favorite ones is called Grow, GROW, and then a period after it on Facebook. It's a lot of just very successful people that came together to provide a place for free resources for every level and stage in the business, whether you're just getting started or you're a little bit more seasoned. People are very gracious and they share ideas and graphics and just like talk through things like, hey, this is going on. What would you do in this situation? So it's just a very, Young Living, I feel like is a little bit different. A lot of companies end up being like cutthroat and see everything as competition. And our community is very like open and like, hey, let's help each other. You know, we're not all in competition with each other here. So there are tons of resources like that we can get you plugged into. But at the end of the day, whether you're just trying to get your monthly order paid for or you're trying to fund an adoption, with this, you go at your own pace. You're your own boss. So this is, if you have an entrepreneurial spirit, this type model business is an amazing vehicle for change and for abundance and for growth. And you are at the driver's seat. You are the one in control. So like, I would not be your boss. Debbie would not be your boss. Like, you know, you are in control of like how quickly, how fast, how slow, how whatever you do. You know, we're here to support and help and plug you in and point you in the right direction. But it's something that you are in complete control of, which is awesome because you can far surpass even me within a short time, you know. And if you look at that again, I'm going to throw it in the chat. It's youngliving.com/IDS. I challenge you to look at that income disclosure, and then just dream and see like, wow, what kind of impact would an extra $2,000 to $3,000 a month, or an extra $500 a month, or $50 a month, like what would that do? Would that mean that you can pay an extra bill, that you could go, you know, rent an RV and go see the Grand Canyon, or travel around for a year like I want to? Would you be able to, you know, give back to end human trafficking, or whatever cause is on your heart? That's one that's big on mine. Those are things that even along the way, like we adopted a kid, or we sponsor, we didn't adopt, like he's not coming to live with us. He has his own family, but we sponsor their family and help them to go through the Young Living Academy. And we're able to communicate with him and correspond. And it's really fun and encouraging, you know, to play a small part in his education, and help take some pressure off his family. So things like that, that they're creating like really big change, if that's something that, you know, is heavy on your heart, that there are people if you look at that income disclosure statement, there are people that are bringing in that kind of money monthly and they're living off of 10% and they're donating 90%. So if you look like at that income disclosure and it's like, you know, I'm trying to think, what is the Royal Crown Diamond? I don't know it off the top of my head. The average monthly, does anyone know it off the top of their head? So the lady that was talking, she's a Royal Crown Diamond, which is the top paid drink in the company. Did I do it wrong? Sorry, I'm gonna look it up really quick, because if you're, say it is 25,000, sorry, I'm trying to like talk and look it up and I can't do both. Say it is $25,000 a month. I wanna say it's even more than that, depending, it's much more than that. But say it was $25,000 a month. Okay, so can you imagine, oh, that's a $250,000 a month, sorry. Say, okay, so $250,000 a month, right? Say you were making that kind of money. And you were making that kind of money and you were able to live off of 10% a month and then donate the rest. That kind of money, it creates huge change, right? So money in the hands of good people creates good things. Money can be very evil. Sorry, money can't be evil in and of itself. It's an inanimate object. People are evil. People choose to do very awful things with too much money. I mean, hello, Jeffrey Epstein. But when we put more money in good people's hands, we can create a lot of good change. So don't be afraid too of too much success. There's no such thing. God wants to bless you abundantly. Who are you to say like, no, that's good. I'll just sit here in my poverty and live paycheck to paycheck, or, you know, live here with my poverty mindset. Open your mind, start to dream again, because the sky really is the limit. Think of like how many times you scroll through and you're like, wow, man, I wish I could, like, I would give some, you know, like if I had the money, I would love to give to that. What if you did have the money? What if you did have the means to just say like, here, like, I just saw that, here's your check, you know, like, here's $50,000 or here's $100,000 or whatever. So when you think of those things, sometimes it's crazy when we're in our own world and we're thinking, oh my gosh, like $250,000 a month, like that's insane. No one does that. There are a lot of people earning that, right? So start dreaming again, start opening up your mind. I think I typed in that income disclosure website wrong. So if you want to look into that, just type, like, go into your search bar and type in Young Living Income Disclosure 2018. That's the last published one, and it will come up and you can kind of go through it. So all right, sorry, I went off on like a little extra tangent, but I'm super passionate about just empowering others, not only in their wellness, but in that abundance piece. And I've just felt called more and more to start openly talking about that, because I see so many people, and a lot of the suicides that I have witnessed have been financially driven, because they were just so like in fear and terror of like what everything that's going on is doing to their family, and thought that was their only way out. Guys, it's just not. You know, we have hope, we have health options, we have abundance options, so we just need to tap into them and see what that would mean in our own family. So thank you again for joining us. And if you're on our team, Oily Underground is tonight. We're talking about skincare options. I'm really excited about all that. If you've not been on yet, you need to get on. Thursday, we have a Zoom coming up. My friend Heather and I do Zooms, and everybody's invited to that. We're doing a power hour. So if you are excited and thinking like, maybe I do want to check in with a few people and see like if they're interested, we're doing a power hour, just meaning like we're going to go through like a couple different tasks that are purposely just focused on checking in with people and, you know, seeing where they're at, seeing how we can help. And then on Saturday, we're doing a thing called AFT, Aroma Freedom Technique. It is a $15 charge. Normally our Zooms are free, but we're paying for the facilitator's time. She normally charges $85 a session. So this is going to be a steal. If you've never looked into that before, you can also look that up, Aroma Freedom Technique. It's an amazing tool to release emotions, to work through some things. So even if it's just like, if your self-limiting belief is like, I could never do what Jen's doing, I could never share Young Living, but you want to, come and work through that. Or if your thought is like, I'm so stricken with fear right now, like I have no idea what's going to come in the school year, or I don't know if I could homeschool, like, oh, like that freaks me out. Whatever it is, whatever your self-limiting belief, come on Saturday. You're going to message me for the details, $15, and we're going to work through and use some oils specifically, intentionally, to open up some pathways in our brains, to release a lot of things that are holding us back, and to move forward, right, and create more health that way. So if that interests you, then reach out. We'd love to have you. But thank you, and we'll see you next week.
And one more thing before we go. I've done the Aroma Freedom Technique, and it is amazing. So if you have never done it before, you definitely need to go check that out. It is totally worth $15, and a great, great program. And if you're on my team, we're doing things with our upline on Monday evenings, Wednesday, and Thursday evenings. Mondays usually the 101 on the basic kit. Wednesdays is different products every time, and then Thursday is business building. So please reach out to me if you haven't gotten that information, and I will share that with you. And hope to see you all soon, and we'll be on next week. And
Yes.
I think next week maybe we'll do something with school.
Yeah, back to school.
Back to school kind of thing. I just remember I might be in California, so we're gonna have to see how that works for me. But
Either way, we can chat more about back to school next
awesome.
week. We'll figure it out.
Sounds great.
All right, guys.
Thanks, everybody. I'm going to stop the recording. Have a great day.
Have a good day.
Thanks for joining us.
And happy birthday again, Laura. I hope you enjoy your
Yes,
day.
happy birthday.
Thank you.